Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Career Mode. And as you can see, Chris is giving us some good news here, and just keeping us updated on the overall car progress. And as you can see, the new chassis parts have arrived for this race, unlike some other career modes. Chris is actually giving us some good news, and as you can see on the R&D chart, just focusing at the moment here, as you can see, we've really closed the gap there to the top teams, as we're the only major team to bring an upgrade for this race alongside some of the lower midfield teams. So we're going to make huge strides this race, and just a big jump forward to really catch up to the upper echelons of the Formula 1 teams and the constructors, and that top four overall really starting to get close together now, and are really bunching up at the moment. So it's very exciting. And after the last episode, which you guys absolutely smashed the support on in Russia with the first race with the new patch, the car was absolutely unbelievable in terms of overall pace. And with these new upgrades now that have arrived for this race, we can now pretty much focus this season on improving the tyre wear, pretty much maxing that out. And then once we've got the tyre wear as best as it can be, I'm going to try and do a few powertrain upgrades to especially try and improve the fuel consumption, and really try and optimize this Force India now. But as you can see, going through the practice program is going absolutely swimmingly, everything going absolutely perfect, executed to an absolute T. Unfortunately, only managed in green in the qualifying performance test. I'm still struggling to get a purple in that one, but overall, a very solid practice session. And following up from my good run of results in the last couple of races, we are going to have a little chat with Emma after practice, as she's got some news for us just before we jump into qualifying. Also, a few changes to the engine parts. But first of all, let's go back into the motorhome and have a chat with our agent, Emma Jenkins, to see what exactly she has to say to us.
Guess who made the gossip columns this morning? Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
Right, so a new rival. The question is, who is it going to be? Max Verstappen. Okay, that's not too bad. We can work with that. Not too bad. Someone who we've battled before, and I believe the rivalry is 2-0 to Verstappen. As you can see on the screen there briefly, but as you can see, for practice, I used the very worn engine components that we used in the first 4 races, and now I'm switching over to new components here because I literally could not run the older ones any longer. Like, they were about to die off. I had to switch over to new ones because the car was not going to make it. I was trying to push this weekend to try and make it with the old components, but there was no way it's going to happen. So I might try and use them in Monaco, possibly for the race and qualifying if I feel it's suited for me. But for now, we're going to jump into qualifying here and into the Q1 session. And Q1 very comfortable, actually. Had a very good setup on the car. As we come across the line for our first lap, we go P2 behind Sebastian Vettel there. And once the session ends, as you can see, we actually end the session in that position. So a very good start to the qualifying session here. Now as we jump into Q2, same strategy as Sochi, which worked for us so good last time. We're going to go on to the medium compound tyres and try and set a lap on these tyres. And so far the lap's off to a good start in the first sector here, pretty much on the pace. And Bottas is the man in first place at the moment. As we come across the second sector split, so far it's a very good lap here, pretty competitive. We're stuck behind Lewis Hamilton at the moment. Hopefully he'll get out of the way. But now, going through the final chicane now and into the final corner, it's been a very good lap here. And the question is, where is this lap going to put us on medium tyres? And we actually go fastest on medium compound tyres. Unbelievable. I highly doubt we'll stay there. I mean, we might, you never know, but I doubt it. And indeed, we don't actually stay there. But we finished the session in 4th place, and our competition is in P6, so we actually managed to get a very good P4, best of the medium tyre qualifiers. So very encouraging lap there. But as you see, we're now going to jump into Q3, into our best lap of the session. Going into turn 1 now, very critical that you pretty much pick up the 100/50 meter board and get a good run through turn 2. Try and avoid the curbs at all times if possible, and if you are going to use them wisely and don't really lean on them too much. But now into turn number 4, 4th gear corner here, little short shift into 5th gear to really try and get the traction on. And this is my first and best lap of the session. Actually, I went for a second run and it was going well. You'll see in a moment exactly what happened, but this is our best lap of the session now, and the one's going to count for the grid. So far the lap's off to a good start here. Nice one through as we now go through this left-right chicane using all the track available, as Vettel goes fastest at the moment here in qualifying. Turn 9, almost flat out through their little upshift into 7th gear, but then into the hairpin 100 meter ball down to 3rd gear, really trying to pick up the apex. I just lock up slightly, which doesn't allow me to get said apex, but now through the next couple of corners, getting a nice run through here, really just getting the car to flow nicely. It's very critical that you have a good flow around this circuit, all through these sort of long swooping corners, and that's exactly what we've got as we now go through the final chicane. Very nice run through there, getting the curbs absolutely beautifully, nice bit of traction on the exit there, and that was as sweet as you could have had it. And now open up the DRS as we come across the line, and where's that going to put us? Third place behind Lewis Hamilton, so not too bad of the banker lap. And then on my second attempt, I was up, but then I made a little mistake, as you can see here on the exit. Get on the curb a little bit too much, too greedy, and I completely ruined my exit there. So unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for P5 eventually, as people would improve their lap times. And unfortunately, we couldn't improve on our second attempt because I was 2 tenths up, and that might have, got us a little bit closer to Hamilton. I might have had a chance of getting in, but overall, that was qualifying. And we're now going to move into Sunday for the race. Here we are then, race day at Spain, P5 on the grid. Very, very solid qualifying session. Really, just the car felt good out there. And I'm telling you, we're really on the pace now in this season in career mode. Thanks to the patch, we are really on the money. And we're one major upgrade away from really, I think, being a major contender. And if you look at the race strategy now for today, we're going to be doing a one-stop strategy from mediums onto hard tyres. Now, the mediums are going to be a small stretch, so we're going to have to try and take it very easy on these tyres and try and get them to the hard tyre stint, hopefully. And hopefully the tyre upgrade we just did it for this race hopefully comes into play for us. Also, fuel-wise, I'm going bang on target for 33 laps. No less, no more. Just going to run it bang on in sync with the race strategy. I'm not planning to use much friction mix this race. Just keep it in standard because we've got fresh engine components in the car, so we don't really need the extra engine power. And that should hopefully deliver us what we need in terms of the straight line performance. But P5 medium tyres, we are going to have soft tyre runners around us. So at the start, it's going to be a battle of trying to maintain our pace with those who are fast around us. Similar to Sochi, just trying to see if we can survive on this tyre, but I'm looking forward to it. It's an exciting challenge and one that I'm relishing in around a track that I think we can get a good result at. And then after this, I've already got one eye on Monaco because Monaco could be absolutely fantastic. The only concern for us this race is that the gearbox is on 55% wear, so we could be having some gearbox issues possibly during the race. But other than that, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very exciting race here at Spain, and if you guys are excited, then slap a like on the video. But we're now going to jump straight into round number 5 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix. Right then, here we are on the grid at Catalunya, gearing up for the 5 red lights, and it's going to be lights out and away we go here in Spain. And it's a very good start from us, even on the medium tyres, getting the jump on both of the Silver Arrows. We're going to use a little bit of rich mix here to try and race them into turn 1 as we see both Ferraris sparking up ahead. We're going to go 3 wide into the first corner with the Mercedes cars, and we're just going to get the move around the outside on Bottas there, who is also on medium tyres. And there we go, we're up into third place, getting the jump on both Mercedes cars. Fantastic stuff here, and the same top 3 as it was in Sochi here, with both Ferraris on soft tyres and then me and P3 on a slower compound, this time on the medium. So let's see if we can do the same thing as Sochi and sort of keep up with these guys and keep them in our sights. Hopefully Raikkonen doesn't run away with it like he did in Sochi, and we can have a bit more of a competitive race. But I know that these guys in front will be at least on a 2 stop, whereas I'm on the 1. So as long as we're somewhat close by the time we do our first stop, we're in the race here, and I'm gunning for the race win because I think with this one-stop strategy, I could pull something out the hat here. And also, Bottas is on mediums behind, and I think I've got the pace versus him to match him. So I think we can hold on to his position as long as Bottas stays in P4 behind. I think once Hamilton overtakes, it's going to be inevitable, and it's going to be a battle to defend against him. But for now, it's a chance for us to extend the gap and try and keep up with the Ferraris. Carlos Sainz at the Spanish Grand Prix, retirement just down the field. Will that trigger a safety car or VSC? It doesn't look like it, so that's good for me because this one-stop strategy, that's the only way it's going to work. I can't have no interruptions, and it's got to be absolutely perfect. So far, pace is good. Right, personal best, just keeping the Bottas there, so he's too far to make a move with me, even with DRS. So that's sort of what I'm doing at the moment, just sort of controlling the gap. And I've got good pace, tyres are holding up nicely, so it's just a question of trying to have a semi-good pace while I was trying to hold onto my tyres as long as I can. Right then, on to lap number 7. So far, controlling the Mercedes. Seb Vettel in the pit lane off of the soft compound tyres. So, interesting there. That's definitely going to be on a 2-stop strategy. Now the question is, will Kimi pit at the end of this lap and also come in for a 2-stop strategy? And now Lewis and also Kimi Raikkonen pit as I set a personal best, extending my lead over Bottas slightly there. And now I'm in a net race lead, or should I say, yeah, pretty much a net race leader because these guys are on a 2-stop. So right now, I am the net race leader of the Spanish Grand Prix, so I've got to start setting the tone, and that's what I've done last lap, doing another personal best, and I've got to try and improve on this lap as well, and just keep clocking faster and faster laps to try and set a competitive pace here. Okay, that's interesting. Bottas comes into the pit lane off of the medium tyres, so I'm guessing he couldn't make them work. I've pretty much matched my personal best from the last lap, so pace is still good. I'm just going to keep on going here. Tyre life and tyre wear is looking pretty good. I'm probably going to make it to my scheduled pit stop lap, so I'm quite relieved about that. I was a little bit concerned when I saw the race strategy at the start of the race, but as you can see, most worn tyre on 39 on the left front, so things are not looking too bad, and I think we should make it to lap 13. Everyone has now hit for their scheduled stop, so right now this is the race order in net positions. As you can see in the top 3, another personal best there, and Raikkonen's about 10 seconds down the road, so we're controlling this race at the moment, and a few more laps until my first stop of the race. Another personal best. Kimi is not catching me as fast as I thought. Tyres are holding up relatively nicely, and we've only got one more lap until my stop, but I might just do 1 or 2 more laps just to be safe for the hard tyres. I don't want to be struggling on my tyres at the end of the Grand Prix, because we might be under pressure, so I want to try and have tyres left at the end of the race. Okay, so in the last 2 laps, Kimi's just started to catch up a little bit to me now, 5.3 behind, so I've managed to stretch it out 1 more lap. I'm going to come in this lap now to keep my sort of safety bank in terms of a 5-second gap here to the car behind. So let's get it all slowed down for the pit entrance, and there we go, in for our first and only stop of the race here onto the hard compound tyres here. So hopefully we can have a nice, easy, quick stop here from the boys. Nice 2-second stop would be nice, and I think that's exactly what we're going to get. There we go, 2 seconds bang on, so fantastic stop from the crew there, and we're going to currently in P3. We're probably going to rejoin behind Bottas and Hamilton. That's going to be my guess. So let's have a look. Here's Hamilton driving by now. So there we go. We've only just come up behind the 2 silver arrows, but we are on fresh, hard tyres now. So not too bad. We didn't lose too much time in the grand scheme of things, and we're going to the end on these now. So we've got to try and switch these tyres on and try and find the pace early on, and try and not lose too much time behind Hamilton. Try and keep up with him. Try and maybe even overtake him if we have to, and try and get our rhythm early on. So that's the plan. Let's pretty much execute that then. Let's try and go for it. Right, personal best, but the pace is not enough. We need to find a little bit more pace, so I'm going to use Rich Mix on this lap here to try and find a little bit of time, because if the Ferraris stay out for much longer, they might overcut me. So we've got a very real threat of the overcut here, so we need to try and stay out, pick up the pace, and try and catch up to those Mercs. So let's get our foot down. Well, that's better. 1 minute 21.7. Vettel's in the pit lane. He's gone onto hard tyres. So there's Sebastian. I'm going to expect Kimi in next lap. So this lap is critical that we stay in Rich Mix and push hard. Right, Lewis in the pit lane in front of me. So that's 1 silver arrow who's coming to the pit lane. Also, Kimi Raikkonen is there exiting the pit lane on hard tyres. We pretty much matched our personal best last time around, up into 2nd place. And I'm expecting Bottas in next lap. So that's going to give us the net race lead again here this race. Right, Bottas in the pit lane here, so we're going to inherit the net race lead. Unfortunately, Raikkonen came out just in front of Max Verstappen, so he's got no traffic. He's got a clear air to try and catch me up. I've just done a personal best in standard mix, so that's some bloody good pace from me. I'm pushing this car to the limit now, and there's going to be a battle to the finish between myself and Raikkonen to see who wins the Spanish Grand Prix. I've got about 6 seconds on the Iceman, so let's try and win this race. Another personal best into the 1 minute 26s. However, now we are starting to encounter lap traffic. Julian Palmer is the first man we're going to have to try and negotiate here. Palmer's not getting out of my way. He has given me DRS though, but he's costing me a little bit of time here as we go into the hairpin. A 10th down on my PB, not too bad, but we are going to get past Palmer there, and now we've got to get past the Sauber of Pascal Wehrlein, who I'll pretty much mince up in this final sector, as I am the fastest man. I've been the fastest man all weekend through this final sector, through this combination of corners, and it's going to be fairly easy pickings getting past the Sauber drive. A little bit of a corner cut there, but right, let's try and hope Pascal moves over to the side on the straight and doesn't wait until turn 1 to get out of the way, because that'd be very frustrating if he does. Here we go, in the DRS of Pascal. He's moving over to the right hand side, so he knows I'm coming. I'm going to try and pick up the inside line to force him out wide. And here we go into turn 1. Just going to take the inside line. Not the best line through the corner, slightly compromised, but we've made it work, and we're past some of the lap traffic now. Okay, Ericsson, please get out of the way. I've already lost a second to Kimi in that period where I had to lap the cars, and now I'm losing time to Marcus Ericsson. Come on, please move out of the way. Oh, I've got to force my way through. Ericsson just not giving me the space, and that's going to cost me a little bit more time. Hopefully Raikkonen has some issues like I'm having to negotiate the blue flag traffic. That way it will sort of neutralise the gap. At that lap, 6/10 off my personal best. Not a good lap at all. Raikkonen 2.6 behind. He's gained like 2 seconds in the last 2 laps, which is very frustrating. Right, across the line with 8 full racing laps to go, and Kimi had absolutely 0 issues navigating the traffic, and he's 2.2 behind, so that whole situation has helped him a lot more than it's helped me. So now we're going to have to, I think, pretty much buckle up and get ready for a defensive drive and a little bit of defensive manoeuvring to keep Kimi Raikkonen behind us for the remainder of the Grand Prix, which isn't going to be easy, as we saw in the last race in Russia. Right, on to lap 27, Raikkonen 1.5 behind. He could be within DRS next lap. This is getting very tense now. Right, I've managed to pick up DRS from Stoffel Van Dorn up ahead, and I think I'm just going to pop in a personal best with a 121.5. Raikkonen inside a second, so I think he might just have DRS. Now we've got to try and negotiate Stoffel Van Dorn, who is going to really get in my way here. Oh, please move. Just, honestly, I've not had any luck with the lap cars here, and Raikkonen's just going to breeze straight past him. No, okay, he's going to stay behind him for now, so that's going to sort of fix things a little bit, but I think Raikkonen's going to pass him in due course. But that was a very, very dodgy blue flag maneuver there from Stoffel Van Dorn, and luckily he's still holding Raikkonen up, so he's sort of returning the favour to me, so thanks a lot, Stoffel, but definitely not the best situation to be in. But we're going to try and push on here. Now Raikkonen's just overtaken him, so we've got to keep pushing. We've got to keep trying to extend the gap. Amazing what a difference a couple of races makes. In Bahrain, Stroll was pretty much neck and neck with me across the finish line. Look at this, I'm now about to lap Lance Stroll. Here we go in the DRS of Stroll. To be fair, he's not really letting off the throttle, he's keeping his foot buried. I'm going to pull to the inside. I want the better racing line. And there we go into turn 1, making the move, and this time no issues with the blue flag car, so we can keep on going here. Raikkonen has lost a bit of time, which is good for me. We've got pretty much 4 full racing laps to go here, and we're still controlling the lead of the race here. Another personal best lap of the race thanks to Lance Stroll's DRS, fastest final sector out of anybody. Raikkonen 1.1 behind, only a tenth off of the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so still got some pace left. Obviously Raikkonen though really starting to push my buttons and give me the hurry up. We're going to have to defend now for the remaining pretty much 3.5 full racing laps of this Grand Prix now. Okay, I don't think Vettel, he is catching, but he's not fast enough to really join in on this battle. So it's going to be me versus Kimi here for the remaining 2 laps of the Grand Prix. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen, DRS wide open. Vettel trying his hardest with the fast lap of the Grand Prix to try and catch up to us here, but luckily we've had a good exit out of the final corner, so Raikkonen can't get close enough. So he's got one more attempt down the main straight to try and make the pop with DRS assistance. If not, then he's going to have to try and pass me elsewhere as I get all out of shape through turn 3. So Raikkonen, he's going to really push me next time round, I think. Right, through the final corner, let's try and crank it up. We've got rich mix here, so let's try and defend from Raikkonen using all the engine power necessary. Going to let the car rev up to the absolute max. Vettel, another fast lap of the Grand Prix. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen, he's very close. I'm going to defend slightly into turn 1, and I'm going to cover the line. And there we go, Raikkonen doesn't make the dive, and I think we've got this all under control unless he goes for a reckless dive into the hairpin on the back straight. Okay, here we go through turn 9 up to rich mix. Let's just try and defend on this back straight. Raikkonen isn't really close enough, so I think we've got it in the bag. I'm just going to try and get it all slowed down for the brake zone at the hairpin, but there we go, we've got it. We just got to try and bring it through these final couple of corners now. Right, here we go through the final chicane. It's been a world-class performance. Really controlled the race through the final corner, and here we go to win my first ever Spanish Grand Prix, my 3rd ever race victory in Formula 1, and my first one outside of the US continent. But what a race that was, absolutely fantastic. Last season, breaking the champagne twice at Canada and Mexico. And speaking of Canada, I've just realised, I mean, we've won this race. Monaco's next, which I'm quietly confident about. And then we've got Canada, which is a race we won last season on raw pace. So you never know, we could be on a little string of results here if we get this car hooked up with a couple more upgrades. And then obviously inevitably we have Baku after Canada and Austria. Maybe Austria could be another good track for us also. But on the calendar right now, I'm feeling quite optimistic. The car is absolutely fantastic to drive, and we're getting some good results here. At the start of the season, before the patch came in after Bahrain, I didn't think we'd be in the race for like a top 4 finish. It'd be very tight with most of the big boys. However, now with the patch and looking at how things are after these last 2 races, I think we've got something special going here. I think we can try and make something happen this season. I think we have to try and be the 2nd best team, at least. We have to try. But look at that, we've dethroned both of the Ferraris. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win the Spanish Grand Prix from P5 on the grid. Absolutely fantastic result. The third race win of my career, my 3rd one in the Force India team. The first one, though, of this season, hopefully the first of many, as we've managed to beat both of the Ferraris, who on the day are probably the 2 faster cars, and then both of the Mercedes in 4th and 5th, pretty much neck and neck for pace all race long, and then Esteban Ocon in P6 there. So 2 Force Indias in the top 6, and you could say we're more competitive than Red Bull already. I mean, we're really on the money at the moment, and you can see the huge gap there from Hamilton all the way to Ocon. Me, I was just a huge golfing class, and a huge gap from me to Ocon this race, just miles above him. But both of the Red Bulls in 7th and 8th, Ricciardo beating Verstappen, and then Grosjean and Kvyat rounding out the top 10 point scores. And in terms of DNFs, Carlos Sainz in his home race, the only person to not finish the race. But looking at the driver standings, you can see that we still hold 3rd place. However, we've gained a few points on both of the Ferrari drivers, and we also extend our lead over Lewis Hamilton to 29 points. Also, Ocon overtakes Max Verstappen and leaps up into 5th place in the standings, only 2 points behind Lewis Hamilton. So we could have 2 Force Indias in 3rd and 4th in terms of the drivers' standings, which is absolutely mental if you'd asked me that 3 races ago. But in terms of the constructors, you can see that we're comfortably in 2nd place. Mercedes overtake Red Bull, but we've already got a 40-point cushion over the next team. So we're really establishing an early lead here to try and make sure these teams don't catch up to us later on down the line. Ferrari, though, extending their lead at the front, and they're looking pretty damn competitive as ever. But we're now going to move into the laptop. Okay, so far, as you can see, absolutely smashing Verstappen in the rivalry. So far, he's beat me 2-0 in past rivalries. I'm looking to get my first win over him this season. Also, the expectation bar maxed out on the right-hand side there. And then, in terms of upgrades, as you can see, you can now clearly see a complete different sort of perspective now. We've got 4 big teams and then 4 midfield teams. And McLaren sort of bridging the gap. And then you've got Sauber at the tail end. So, so far, that's rather interesting. We've got 925 resource points, which I'm thinking of spending, but I'm going to save until the next race in Monaco. I think I'm going to get a few durability upgrades just to make sure my parts last, because if we are in the race for any sort of championship this season, I want to make sure that I get no grid penalties, and I want to be using just the 4 mandatory power units that we have. So we want to look to get the most out of these here. So as you can see after that race, though, these components from the race at Spain, fairly okay for wear, all around between 10 to 15% wear, more or less, average 12% wear. So not too bad there. The control electronics, the worst for wear out of most of those. So we're going to have to probably get that upgraded soon enough. But other than that, it's looking pretty damn good. They're all looking pretty rosy. And I'm looking forward to the next race in Monaco. One where I still haven't won yet around there. You know, past F1 games, it's been very easy to win around Monaco. But this year, they seem to have fixed AI's pace around there. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a proper challenge. And I cannot wait. Hope you guys are excited also. But if you have enjoyed this video, then smash the like button. Leave a like. Let's see if we can try and smash 300 likes for this episode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content. Also, check out the videos on screen you can see right now, and also go check out GT Mega, the links down below in the description as you can see on screen right now, and use the code TOM87 for a cheeky 5% discount at checkout. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Let's see my next video very soon. Goodbye.